Invisible cat.
All right, friends, we're here. Woo! We've got one camera out of place because one player is on his way home from work. So when Algernon gets here, we'll refiddle with the cameras. But welcome to Monday night and on Wiley Hobbit's little network of D&D shows. Monday night can only mean one thing, and that is Mysteries in the Dalelands. And I am Scott, also known as Wiley Hobbit, and I'll be your host and Dungeon Master. Let's go around the horn. And as is customary, I like to go ladies first out of respect for the fairer gender. And so we'll go with Ronvin. Mara, tell us a little bit about your character.
Well, Run Venison, Asimar, our artificer, she still does not really understand how she got wings in that last fight. And she kind of still thinks Al is messing with her, even though he said he's not. And, well, else we're finally getting away from all kinds of ickiness. So she's definitely looking forward to some rest. That's not
Yeah.
in a tunnel.
Yeah. Well, I can't help you there because you're currently there. And by there, I mean in a tunnel. But you can get some rest because you actually ended the session at the start of a long rest. Very good. All right, let's go to Calavera.
Hey, I'm playing Calavera. She is a Fire Ganassi Grave Cleric. Uh, and trying to think of. I was having some trouble hearing you guys all last session, and so it's nice to see all your faces not stuttering about. Yeah, she's been having a bit of a time around here, but I think it's okay. I think she's not having fun. But she sure is here.
She is here. She is here indeed. Excellent. All right, Fragile, our third female character.
Yeah, I am Fragile Jankasi, and I am an Astamar warlock of the Raven Queen, and I have been enjoying being down here. I've been a little emotional. There's something in the air that seems to spike both my joy and my frustrations. And I am also anxious to get back to Deep Delver's Enclave and maybe enjoy a nice bed and a fresh drink. So hopefully we have fewer interruptions on our trek home. DM.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be totally safe and things, uneventful. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hey, Angel Devil's Son 1, thanks for redeeming those long bottom leaves. Just choose a player you would like to grant advantage to, and it is going to Calavera. So record an advantage on a d20 roll. Calavera, you have earned from our friend Angel Devilson, who's also hosting us. So thank you very much for that, Angel. Very good. All right, cool. Rue, let's see what you got going on, sir.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew and I'm playing Rushahar, the Changeling Rogue.
Excellent. Very good. That's right, you did announce a few episodes ago that you are, in fact, a changeling.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. All right, and Gears.
Hey folks, I'm muted. I'm Dave. Hey Wilson on the social medias. I'm playing Gears, your gentle warforged fighter, battle master. We're having a lot of fun. Chop chop.
We seem to be. Yes, yes. Okay, so again, we've got down here in the bottom left, we have sort of a mashup of people in that little camera box there. We'll get that straightened out when Al arrives. He's just running in a little bit late from work, doing the chef thing, so hang loose and we'll get him in. And while we're waiting, just a quick couple of announcements. Starting to use channel points. Ooh, wow. Hey, Wilson just gave the DM advantage. Thanks, buddy. So you can do one of two things. As you accumulate channel points here on our Twitch channel, you can redeem them in 500s and in thousands. If you redeem a 500 batch, you can grant a player advantage, which Angel has just granted Rue advantage on a d20 roll. If you dump 1,000 of those, if you redeem 1,000 of those, you can grant advantage to the Dungeon Master, and I will record now that I have advantage, so thank you. One thing we're going to try not to do is give your own character, I'm looking at you people, advantage. Come on to another game and you can load up your friends with advantage. So try to be cool that way. But if you do grant a player advantage, please let us know in the chat what's going on with that. And so here we go. Yes. Ronvin, you just got advantage twice. So keep track of that. And I'm also, if I can figure out how to do it, which I think I can, I'm going to kick off a little contest thing. It's a community reward whiz bang here, and I just got to find the right clicky do. And what this is once we renew 15,000 long bottom leaves, for Geely, looks like you just got advantage. Once we renew 15,000 long bottom leaves, I will kick off a giveaway for a $25 tabletop loot dice giveaway. So we'll keep track of that. Okay. So that challenge there, it comes across now. Community challenge started. So once we hit 15,000 long bottom leaves redeemed, we will be able to kick that giveaway into gear. So let's do our best. I see you all giggling and snickering in there.
So, just so you know, Scott, when they redeem for advantages and such, that doesn't count toward the 15,000. I don't know if you realize that.
Doesn't it? Oh,
it does not.
Why does it not? I thought it would.
You have to specifically put it towards the
Gotcha. Okay, very good. Yeah, so you can put it towards turning on the giveaway, or you can put it towards a player. But again, let's not have the party jack the party up too much, since you're already shredding everything I put in front of you. But we thought it'd be kind of fun. Skagith, man, thanks, buddy. You've used your points, and looks like we're going to probably be running this giveaway tonight, so I better get that set up before we get there. That's what happens when you run a channel for X period of months without having channel points, and then you turn them on and make them usable. The people have accumulated some, so yeah, very cool.
We'll not let you give more than 2,000 a day.
Each person is capped at 2,000 points redeemed per day. So
I can give you another 11 days. That's how long I've been around.
That is awesome. And we appreciate
67,000. I have 67,000 points.
I've got over 60,000 over on Lord Gazumba's channel, the classic Greyhawk, and I've kicked in. He redeems them for he's got a system of hero points over there that's similar to Advantage and stuff. But since they're playing first edition, it's like a second edition hybrid. They don't have what do you call it? Advantage. So yeah, I've got 60,000+, and I've already kicked in probably 20 or 30,000 on hero points. So yeah, so let's see here. What my
can I share the classy way I have to keep track of these advantages because my daughter ran away with my fancy pen?
Yeah, why don't we do that so I can
and she left me a broken crayon.
Nice. There are worse ways of keeping track of things.
All right, so last week our party was surprised to discover a lair. Had a huge, really cool-looking purplish body of water in it, large cavern. And in the body of water were 3 water weirds that, as it turns out, had been summoned by the resident of this lair, one Illithid Arcanist, whose name was, because it's no longer alive, where is it? Here we go. Svoldax. So the party easily dispatched the water weirds, and then Zvoldax made an appearance, announced his presence with a rather large blast of lightning, and zapped Rue pretty hard. kind of a highlight moment as this creature made its presence felt with the lightning. 3 ogres also came in through the other entrance to the cavern, tying up Gears and Rue with some activity there, while Calavera and Ronvin were sort of caught in crossfire between the Illithid and the party. Fragile, who had been hasted by Al, and what else did you have going on, Fragile, that you had kind of buffed out on your character besides haste?
I have no idea what you just said because you cut out, but I think you're asking about when I attacked the Illithid.
Yeah, you were hasted.
I was hasted, and Calavera used her something really great.
Talking about my path to the grave.
Path to the grave. Tell us what that does, because it was really cool, Calavera.
So Path to the Grave is the Grave Domain's channel divinity, and what it does is it grants the next hit on that enemy its vulnerability. So the next hit on that creature does double damage. Really
Yeah, so Fragile bravely, angrily races, hasted across this 80-foot cavern. So double moves right to the face of this disgusting, vile, evil, spellcasting Illithid, only to be attacked by said Illithid, attempting to eat her brains. The Illithid missed, and Fragile, with one round of attacks, which I believe were 3 attacks. Is that right, Fragile?
Yes.
With your Rapier of Death. I believe we had some Green Flame Blade. We had, because of haste, you got an extra attack. And so with 3 slices and stabs, down went the Illithid Arcanist, which was also nicely timed with the demise of the ogres. And so the party basically chewed through what should have been or could have been a deadly encounter, and only a couple people were hit. Rue got pretty well hammered, and Al got a little bit of damage, but by and large, they were relatively unscathed. So, so they managed to take care of that little situation pretty quickly. And Al, in his interest, having seen an arcanist, a spellcaster, entered the lair of the Illithid and discovered an ancient tome with a undecipherable word written in the hand-tooled black leather on the front, and opened up, and everything's written in a language that he really doesn't understand, in that it's undercommon. But it appears to be the spell book of this creature. So quite an interesting evening of D&D in that they killed a pretty formidable group of creatures, but then they also scored some serious loot. They found a circlet of the sun, and it had this really cool sunburst sort of. It was a little bit mindful of the symbol of the Morning Lord, kind of a sunburst above the horizon. But it wasn't the holy symbol of Lathander, something unrecognizable. But this circlet, as Al identified it, grants its wearer, once attuned, the ability to cast Fly or Guiding Bolt. And it has, let's see, I think 4 charges, and it'll get a D4 recharge at dawn every day. They also found a tentacle rod, a cloak of Elvenkind, and a pair of sending stones, along with a potion of mind reading. Interestingly enough, the sending stones also had the same symbology etched upon them that was etched upon the face of the clear gem in the center of the circlet. The Illithid had been wearing the circlet. So pretty much that was the episode last week. They made their way out of there. They're heading back from Violet Falls, having ended the necromantic shadow that had been cast upon that ill-fated settlement of gnomes. And they're headed back to Deep Delver's Enclave, deep within the Black Claw Mountain, home of the ruins of the Grindelroot. And it is there we will pick up our tale this evening, as the party is about to take a long rest. They're about a day and a half out, give or take, from Deep Delver's Enclave if all goes well. They're following a different route back than the route they took, but they're able to basically discern generally that they're headed in the right direction and that the elevation is increasing because they went about 500 feet down this lift when they arrived at Violet Falls, so they know they've got some upping to do. And it is there we will turn the storytelling over to our party as you have reached the end of a long and exhausting day under Black Claw Mountain.
Usual watch, guys.
Yep.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yes, how would you like to set your watches?
I think we'll do the normal. I think Rue and I are in the middle.
Okay.
Calavera and Gears are at the end.
So it's Ronvin and Al to start, right? Okay. So anything else you want to do before you settle in for the evening?
Um, I just want to make sure that Calavera uh, knows that that the circlet of the sun was for her, so that she can't fall into the crevice anymore.
Oh, right.
Yep. So now she can actually fly,
Yep.
and she won't fall no more.
I think.
Because that scared Ronvin.
Yeah. Did we also decide that Calavera is gonna get the whole
Yep.
tentacle rod thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Is that
because
what we're
that
gonna
is
do them?
because that's the most badass, grave cleric thing ever.
So I'm probably going to take time before heading to sleep to attune to my 2 items.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. No problem. All right. So is anybody else doing anything? Or are we just going to go kind of call it a night and set watches and...
Well, Virgilia will do her usual prayers before she'll head off a little ways from the group, but not far enough that they can't tell where she's at.
Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah, Ronvin is basically just like, all right, let's get this watch over with. I wanna sleep. I'm tired. This is a mess. I want to sleep.
Okay. Anything in particular for Geely, or just your usual checking in with the Raven Queen, your patron?
Yeah, she doesn't have anything specific right now. She's really tired. She wants to take a bath, and I think she's going to kind of hold out her prayers for some of the deeper stuff for when she can get herself some real privacy.
Fair enough. Okay. So let's have Ronvin and Al. I'll roll for Al. Let's roll a perception. And if memory serves, you all found just a small chamber. There, you're on this tunnel that seems to be kind of a main artery, if you will, headed generally in the direction of back toward Deep Delver's Enclave. There have been a few side tunnels here and there, some waterways cross, like little, you'll see a little bit of water dribbling out of the wall, and it just kind of cuts across the trail and then dribbles into another crevice. But really, you're really on the only trail that you've seen of any, size, and it looks like it's been traveled a bit. Yeah, but you've seen several small caverns here and there, or groups of caverns where you'll step in to kind of investigate, and there might be one or two other caverns attached beside the one right off the trail, and you can easily find one of those. You've scoped it out. It appears to be safe, no secret doors or anything. And so you're off the main track in kind of a side chamber.
Yeah, and I think we put Gears in the entryway because Gears doesn't sleep.
Right. I believe you're correct, Ronvin. So, Ronvin, why don't you roll me a perception, and I will roll for Al. How does that sound?
That's an 8.
That is awesome.
Yeah, total 2.
Okay. The only thing that during your shift, during your watch, the only thing that you really see and Al ends up pointing it out for you, is a small group of bats kind of flutter into the chamber and beyond where you all are into another chamber, and disappear in there. But they seem to be. I mean, he had to point them out to you. You didn't really notice them because they're so quiet. They're small, jet black. But once he pointed them out to you, you saw them.
Yeah, and Run will cover her hair with like a hood or a blanket because no way is anything getting stuck in all that hair that she got.
Last thing you want is bats in your hair, right?
Yes, yes.
That's got to be unpleasant. Yeah. Okay. So your shift, your time at watch, draws to a quiet conclusion, and you rouse Rue and Fragile for their watch.
Jill stretches, heads out to replace Rondon where she was at.
Run was
Okay.
like, we had some bats. That's it. Night.
Yeah, everybody's tired. Nobody has any trouble falling asleep tonight. It's been a crazy day. You've seen some things you're probably kind of wishing you hadn't seen and hope you never see again.
Exactly.
Between the illithid and the pool of water attacking Al, it's been a day. Okay, so Rue and Fragile, you two are on watch.
I got a 15.
Oh, you want to roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception if you all have anything you want to discuss, role play, whatever you like to do.
Fragili's kind of tired. She's probably just going to lean up against a wall and do her best to stay awake. And her tiredness kind of shows because she only rolled a 6 on her perception.
Yeah. Yeah, so for Geely, you find yourself struggling to kind of, you're not fully falling asleep by any stretch. You would never, ever dream of such a thing, but you are fighting it. You're yawning, your eyes are watering. Rue, it's quiet for you. Nothing's happening. It's quiet. And by quiet, I mean it's like deafeningly silent. Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, so your shift comes and goes, passes quietly enough. You can rouse Calavera and alert Gears to his turn, to their turn.
I'll go over Gears. I know you're awake, but it's your turn to stand up.
All right. Gears gets up and situates in the most obvious place to keep watch. Was probably already in one of the more obvious places to keep watch anyway. Hopefully our watch will pass without a trace.
Yeah, well. I think they parked you sort of in the closest to the entrance, to the cavern that you're in. Yeah, so let's go ahead, Calavera, Gears. Any RP that you wish to do? If you have a perception roll available, that would be most appreciated by your dungeon master.
Do the perception first.
I do have perception rolls. I don't have perception roll.
14 for Gears.
That's a 6. Oh, once again, I do not see it. It does not happen.
Yeah.
It'll be back.
Gears will look over at Calavera and say, are you well? You had a bit of a fall before. It seemed quite unnerved.
Yeah, it's no, I'm alright. A little banged up, but sleeping seemed to help out pretty well. Turns out I'm not very fond of falling. It's a bit of a new one, but I'm alright. Thank you.
Need to keep you safer.
You're the one who got me. I think you're doing a plenty good job keeping me safe, to be honest.
It is my purpose to keep this group in one piece. Unusual enemies we faced this time round. Creature with tentacles in its face.
What was that? Because they kept saying what was it that they called it?
Mind flare.
Mind flare. Yeah. What does it? I've never seen one of those before. Everyone seems to know what it was.
I do not understand, but we found several corpses with the tops of their heads opened and contents removed.
So it is a literal name. Okay.
It seems so. Although Mind Eater would be more appropriate if that is the case. The ogres did not seem dainty enough to make a meal of just a brain.
And Calavera just kind of sits back. Do you just ever think about, like, this is such a violent world.
Indeed, there seems to be a great joy taken by the denizens of Deep Delver's Enclave in existing in this darkness.
Well, it's not even just here. Even back in Dagger Falls, it's just also. Why?
I don't know. Where I came from, my kind were created principally for war. That is not necessarily the extent of the world I come from. It is the existence I was forged into. The wilder parts of the world seem to require more strength of arms to quell, to form an image of those who choose to live in that area.
You know, you are pretty good with words. It's just. Is it like that other places? It's all just. It's fighting every day, and it's exhausting, and it's. I mean, I have magic that heals, but then earlier I touched something and it just.
I
Don't get it.
in the world we live in the world of born creatures such as yourself, there is a balance, I think, of life and death. On the one hand, you live, but to continue that life, something must die.
Everything dies.
Perhaps the oldest warforged, the oldest created, is at most 100 years old. But they are, with appropriate maintenance, as young as the day they emerged from the forge. They don't change unless they choose to change. I have added a crossbow to my arsenal. It is part of my being. It is our flexibility. I am metal. wood, what have you. I don't know if I would ever die of old age. Enough damage? Yes. This unit can die in that respect. But I will never starve. I will never die of dehydration. I may never die of old age. I could wear out. I've heard many stories of longer lived races, elves, dwarves. They live millennia, but they die eventually. But from life comes life, to life goes death. Peace perhaps cannot exist without war. For without war, peace cannot be defined. And the born, the flesh, the non-created, war-forged. You struggle for advantage at every turn, yet rarely come to an accord with each other to survive together. This is the perspective of someone who was born to war. I hope at some point to see peace, to find a better purpose, to build, to construct, to be creative, and perhaps maybe someday die. But today is not that day. And we're keeping watch over our gentle, small friends here.
Maybe they're small to you. Several of them are much taller than I am.
Gears just pats the giant club that Virgili dragged over to them after the combat. Some things are larger than me.
He never said that.
This will be a challenge to learn to wield. I hope I have brought a measure of comfort to your being to know that you are a treasure, to wish for an absence of violence. But my efforts are to help you, if not accept, understand that violence, however you choose to define it, will be a part of any life. It's just a matter of degree. And right now, we have been in a very high degree of violence. And I believe the Delvers Enclave and this whole underground complex is a seething mass of creatures struggling to survive. And from that struggle comes violence and death. And Gears just lapses into a sort of a quiet contemplation.
I suppose that all makes sense. I'm not sure if it's a comfort, but it is a thing to think about. A thing to learn, I guess. I feel like I'm constantly learning new things. No one's explained to me what an ocean is yet. We kept talking about it.
Gears lets loose an odd, whirring chuckle of sorts. an ocean. Imagine imagine a body of water so large, so churning with life and power and violence, mostly power, so large that you can see no land in any direction that you look.
Oh,
Oceans are vast. They tend to be quite powerful. The waters churning in violence. I saw it once, long ago. Well, long for me. I've only been in existence for 5 years.
5 years is still plenty long. Depending on how you look at it, I've only been in existence for a few weeks. She just kind of nervously laughs. So I say 5 years is doing pretty well.
You're doing quite well for a few weeks.
I did fall down a very large pit.
We had you.
I know. Thank you.
You needn't be concerned with coming back. You were always welcome here. No one will stand against that.
I'm not sure you speak for everyone there, but from you and from Vru, that means a lot. Vru knows. I mean, definitely. I mean, I didn't say it out. I kind of said it out loud.
You worry. That is appreciable. But I feel that we have all bonded. We are perhaps not family, but the friends we choose. And perhaps like family, someone may need a sharp rap on the head.
Is that what happens with... I don't know if I've, No, never mind. Your optimism is appreciated, but at this point, I think yeah.
Okay.
We should probably be keeping watch and looking for things.
Oh, Gears has been keeping watch. He has a hard time keeping eye contact because his head's just sort of their heads rotating around a bit.
I got a 6, so I'm not.
That's fine. I think we lapse into silence at this point.
I think so.
Gears, what was your
14.
Please make up for all of my rolls, please. I'm sorry.
I'm good with getting attacked right now. I need something to kill. Need something to prove that Calavera has a very real reason for being worried about all the violence in the world.
all seems to be fairly quiet.
Except for those rock grubs crawling into Rue's ear.
Yeah, they're small. Don't worry about those.
I'm not worried. You gotta stop giving the DM ideas. All is well, and
all is quiet. All is well, and your shift at watch is ended. It's kind of the time where the party, gears where you usually rouse the group up so that everybody can awaken and sleep and wake up and be ready to move on and start their day.
All right, wake up, everybody. Hit that long rest by and let's go. No, we will gently wake everyone up.
Long rest. Confirm. 3 cheers for D&D Beyond.
All right, so if everyone would like to go ahead and punch the long rest button in D&D Beyond, I'll go ahead and get Al taken care of. And it is the next day. So what would y'all like to do?
Move it along.
Get up
Yeah,
and get
probably.
rolling?
Yep, get through the usual quick morning stuff. Oh, we all eat our food and we do our prayers and stuff.
Or push-ups, calisthenics. Which would be really awkward for Gears because it's probably really low here.
Quick sun salutation.
All of the, generally speaking, all of the caverns are anywhere from 18 to 20 feet above you, ceiling-wise. They're anywhere from 10 to 12 feet wide and varying widths. It's, again, mostly natural, naturally created tunnels. And the one that you're in is the widest one that you've encountered since leaving Violet Falls. Again, there have been some narrower passageways, most of which look pretty, only wide enough for something fairly small to pass through, or maybe a humanoid-ish creature, if it weren't too thick, to maybe go sideways, shuffling in. I mean, it doesn't look like a real full passageway tunnel by your standards at any rate. So the party's going to get up and moving and headed toward Deep Delvers Enclave. Let's go ahead and establish our marching order. How would you like to set? I think, Rue, you were kind of out front. I know Al was rolling with...
Al's in the middle.
With the owl. What is the owl's name? Archimedes?
Yeah.
You're muted, Rue. So, Rue...
Archimedes.
And then...
do we want to say that Owl's giving Rue dark vision?
Yep, might as well.
Okay. I will cast it on his character sheet. Everybody else is square for seeing it in the dark, correct?
Gears isn't, but they have the glowing gemstones and they're in the middle of the party anyway, just to have the reach back and forth.
Okay. So I will cast, or Al will cast dark vision upon Rue per usual. So we'll go Rue and then Al, Ronvin, Gears, Calavera, and Fragile, you're still comfortable bringing up the rear?
Mike, we can't hear you.
So I am.
So he is. Excellent. Well, you have that like 7 miles dark vision. What is it, 120 feet you have?
120 feet, and it's I can see normally too. It's not just black and white.
Right. Roger that. Okay, so you are able to, without much fanfare, step off into the darkness. And again, by darkness, I mean utter and absolute darkness, except for the violet dim glow. There's about a 20-foot radius of dim violet light that Gears is providing the party from a couple of... he's just pulled out a couple of the crystals that he removed from Violet Falls to provide some dim light. It's not really going to impact the folks with dark vision. Rue, how far out in front of the party will you stealth out and scout? I know you have Archimedes, who can give Al 100 feet of range. So you're just going to stay with Al then, or?
I'll move ahead, like maybe 60, 75 feet.
Okay.
And I will flip the hood up on my cloak and be stealthy about it.
Yeah. Very good. So go ahead and roll me stealth.
And this is not with advantage, right? Because you said I have to actually be taking the hide action to get advantage? Is that what you rolled?
Look of Elvenkind.
Because of the cloak, you mean?
Yes.
Let's refresh our dungeon master's memory, shall we? Of elven kind. Okay. Okay, perception checks are made to see you have a disadvantage. You have advantage on dexterity checks when you hide, made to hide. So regular stealth is just rolled as stealth. It's when you stop and hide that you get advantage.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So I got a 14 on.
Okay. So you're easily, Al is kind of like, Rue, are you there? Oh, never mind. Very well. And you kind of meld into the darkness. Archimedes flies silently off into the black, inky darkness and flies ahead. And after probably 90 minutes or so of just quiet, thoughtful marching along, Archimedes flutters back to Al right past you very quickly. And Al can hear and see through Archimedes, correct?
If this is through familiar, right?
Familiar, yeah.
Yes, but when he does that, he can't see and hear out of his own senses, so he would need someone to
Right.
be like helping guide him walking along.
Yeah, Ronvin is right behind Al, so
Okay.
that's kind of how we've been rolling with that. Yeah, so Al kind of stops the party and whistles very quietly ahead to Rue. And when Rue returns, which I presume he will, Al explains that through Archimedes, he heard a strange clicking, tapping sound coming from a couple of the side tunnels. And he did find an intersection, a junction. There's sort of a tunnel that comes in from an angle and crosses, going from kind of, if you happen to be headed due north, the tunnel that crosses would be southeast to northwest. Kind of comes in from behind to the right as you're walking up the tunnel. Rue, you hadn't made it that far up yet. But there were a couple of cracks and crevices, and it was hard to tell where the clicking or tapping, whatever that was, wherever that was coming from. But it was coming from somewhere on ahead. It was just hard to tell, really. You know, it's kind of echoey. And so he relays that information to the party.
Okay. So can you hear it, Al? Can you like actually?
Yes, I can hear it through. I can hear it through Archimedes. It's a tapping, clicking, clacking.
I know this is probably a long shot, but it doesn't sound like our friends that visited us on the way down, like their relatives. It's not that type of clacking, is it?
What do you mean, the Umber Hulks?
Yes.
It's hard to say. It's echoey. It's in the distance. It's very difficult to say.
Well, I think we should be prepared either way. have maybe have Gears stay a little closer to Rue.
Probably at the very least not split up and have people really far away where we can't, talk to them just in case. Because then there's a lot of extra running before we can help out.
We're either gonna sit here or we're gonna move forward. I ain't going back the other way and walk all the way back through.
Gears will move up
Okay.
closer to the front, accompany Rue up there, although I don't know that combination is going to be effective, but Rue can probably just hide behind Gears.
Okay.
That's kind of what Virgilia was thinking, was you could step in front of something big and bad and nasty.
Okay.
So we've got Rue, then Gears. Al, Ronvin, Calavera, Fragile.
See.
So Al will kind of lift his arm, and Archimedes flutters off beyond you, Rue, into the darkness.
We go.
So the party's going to continue to move forward in the darkness?
Yeah. L, relative darkness. Gears has the one of the gems out.
Right. Gotcha. So Rue, you can step off again, and you only go about 50 feet up, and you can see with your dark vision about 20 feet beyond where you are currently, there is that intersection of tunnels or, tubes, caverns, crossing your tunnel, as described by Al. Both very dark. Roll perception for me, Rue.
22.
22, that seems reasonable. You hear a clicking, tapping, and then it stops. And with a 22, you also hear the clicking and tapping from further away. It's hard to tell what direction. Very eerie, but almost as if it answered the first bit that you heard.
And I couldn't get direction from either one.
It's just too echoey. It's hard, with all of the not smooth, the rough cavernous walls. It's hard to tell really what direction sound is being reflected.
So do I at least think it's from this crossing hallway, or can I not get that even?
If you roll insight for me, let's try to triangulate on this a little bit.
19.
Your best guess is, it seems like it's probably coming either from some of the fissures that you've located in the walls, or perhaps from ahead through one or both of the tunnels that are crossing your tunnel. Ronvin, you just got another advantage. Thank you, Angel. And Carlos, Castle Entertainment brother, thanks for that sub. That gets the party another +2 on a D20 roll, so you're at 22. Fragile, you were going to say something, I believe.
Yeah. So it's like our tunnel's going straight, and then there's just a branch off to the right or the left. Whichever.
Yeah, it crosses, and you're not far enough up to see it yet, but that's what Al described that he saw through Archimedes. But so far, Rue is about probably 40, 50 feet ahead of the party, and he has seen that junction about 20 feet ahead of him. And he's hearing some sounds that you're unaware of.
On some rocks.
What's that?
But I could put some light on some rocks, and we could have whoever our strongest person is throw a rock up way, see if there's anything there, and then I could just leave a few like breadcrumbs behind us, so something's got to walk through the light to sneak up behind us. I mean, and I can cast that over and over. I suppose it could also attract them to us, but at least we'd be able to see if there's anything up the side tunnel, and if anything coming behind us throws a shadow over the stone I leave behind us, then we have some warning.
Rue, are you still up there kind of on your own? Or did you go back and talk with your party mates?
I thought we decided Gears was right with me.
Yeah. Well, Gears is near for sure.
Okay.
So Rue reaches into his backpack and pulls out the old crowbar and makes a motion like he's throwing it down the crossing hallway and looks at Gears. With like a questioning look.
How close are you going to get to the intersection? You started hearing the clicking and tapping maybe 20 feet from it.
I think we can stop there while we figure out what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gears will look back at Rue questioningly, if you can get that kind of an expression on the face of a Warforged, and extend their hand for the crowbar. And then,
okay.
Well, if you're offering it still.
Sure, Rue will hand it over. That's fine.
Where do you want this?
We will point to where you just motioned.
Okay. So we're throwing it down one of the side passages?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right. Gears will walk up to the side passage and look left, look right. Probably not see anything in the limited range of light the gem affords. And
I'll be standing right behind Gears.
And then just wing it down whichever of the side passages seems to be widest.
Okay. So you throw the crowbar down. It's probably the easiest one to throw it down is just the one kind of up to the left, because all you have to do is kind of turn. The other one's kind of behind you. And I know you look both directions, seeing nothing beyond the very dim violet glow flicker of your crystal down each dark tunnel. Roll a d20. Like a ranged weapon attack with no proficiency.
I don't know. Yours is pretty proficient. Also have athletics. Am I adding what? Dex? Strength?
Dex.
Dex.
I'm kind of treating this as an improvised weapon, so you will not gain any.
Anyway, regardless, that is an 18.
Okay. Yeah, so as you turn and throw this thing, all at once, the darkness stirs. Roll me a d6.
Like a d6?
Yeah.
2. I don't like where this is going. The darkness has come to take you.
You said 2?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and you see commotion in the darkness as a very dark skinned, short furred, rather large, great axe wielding, bipedal, cloven hoofed humanoid with really big fucking horns on its head grunts and snorts and barrels down upon you, apparently attempting to gore you. You see it very clearly, its last 10 feet. Obviously, you see something coming at you when it gets into the dim light of the crystal,
Yep.
and it's going to attempt to gore you because it looks big and cranky and very gorish. It's bigger than you are, well muscled, and it's going to miss. I'm not even going to embarrass myself with the result of my roll. It kind of just stumbles across the intersection. Rue, you see this huge, black-haired. You almost can't believe your eyes. It looks like a bull man,
Does it have
with
mandibles?
with a large great axe, and as it passes, you see a white splotch on its back. You know, its fur is white on its back, and behind it comes another one. Roll perception at disadvantage, each of you guys. I know Ronvin, Calavera, Al, and Fragili see all of this as well, because I know the party kind of snuck up together to within about 20 feet, and then Gears and Rue kind of went up for the crowbar. You did find purchase, Gears, with your crowbar. You heard it hit thud, furry meat. But roll me disadvantage perception, both Rue and Gears.
Well, I rolled an 18 and a 16, so the 16 is the lowest, plus 4 perception is dirty 20.
Okay.
10.
Same? Okay. You both have no trouble noticing 2 more coming from the other side of the passageway, as it appears you may have walked into a bit of an ambush, such as large monstrosities could, pull off sneakily, FYI. So I'm going to ask each of us to do me the honor of rolling initiative, please.
Oh, Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. 19 for Gears.
Okay, how about 25 to 20? 20 to 15.
I got an 18!
17.
Calavera with an 18. How about that? Ronvin, 17. 15 to 10.
13.
13 for Rue. Ooh. 10 to 5. Wow, for Geely.
Yeah, for Julie's got a 3.
Okay. Well, bringing up the rear and stuff. Okay. Gears. You basically have a Minotaur in your face with a great axe with one behind it. And then there are 2 behind you and Rue as well. What would you like to do?
So out of curiosity,
The party's about 20 feet back. Sorry, now go ahead.
Yeah, no, is it possible to force this first Minotaur into a locked position such that it blocks the direction that it came from?
They're not really going to be able to do side by side, if that's what you mean. Like, if you stopped it, it's dude behind it, Minotaur behind it, can't pass through. Has a 5-foot reach. It would be an awkward hit. You basically have half cover from the second Minotaur. And the same would be the case coming up the tunnel behind you, Rue. The intersection itself is probably, 15 feet, give or take, generally in diameter, which is where Gears and Rue are.
Cool.
So 2 in front, 2 in back, and then the party's coming up the tunnel, about 20 feet away.
Awesome. Gears has the Ogre's Great Club from the last fight.
He does.
They are going to take that and give this Minotaur a terrific couple of shots.
Nice.
And in fact, I think, let me see if I hit first now. We'll see about the battle maneuvers.
Otherwise known in combat as a drubbing. Right?
Pretty much. Yeah, we're going to use a trip attack on this guy, but we'll see if we can hit first. And does a 16 hit?
It sure does.
Awesome. I don't have enough d8s. Oh well. Make do. Oh, 8 plus 5 is 13 plus 5 is 18 damage. And it needs to make a DC 16 strength saving throw.
No problemo.
Okay.
If one thing Minotaur can do is strength.
All right. Second attack. Natural 20.
Nice. You know how to make it work, right? For our viewers, if anybody's not familiar, it's maximum damage. Then roll your damage die again.
And we're going for another battle master maneuver of a trip, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, okay, so let's see. That's 3 dice. So that's 24 plus 8 is 32, 35. One more d8. 38 plus 5 is 42 damage.
Nice. Whew. 62 damages in one round, and I got to make another strength
DC
save, right?
Strength save, yes.
Missed it by 1, so he goes prone.
Yes. Doesn't quite get me what I wanted to block the other one off, but what the hell.
Yeah. Okay. So drops with a thud as axe clatters to the stone floor, and behind it is another Minotaur, who's also, when it's his turn, going to attempt to gore you. Is that it for your turn, sir?
That is it for my turn. Hello, gorgeous.
Okay, so this thing snarls, pays no attention to the fallen beast in front of it, and makes a hard run at you, almost recklessly, hereby granting it advantage on its melee weapon attack roll, but he's going to gore you, so no advantage there. And that is a 3 on the die. I'm guessing that's going to miss.
Pretty much.
That would be a 9. Okay, Minotaur that went down is going to attempt to stand, thusly using its half of its movement, and he's going to make a great axe attack at you. Again, this thing is just seething. You've opened up a huge opening on its shoulder with your great club. You hit it so hard with your nat 20, you could hear bones snapping, like maybe up in its collarbone. And where he would have rolled with advantage, because you've kind of mangled it a bit with your crit, he will not be able to roll with advantage because he's a little bit owie. How does a 22?
That sadly hits.
All right. So the great axe comes whistling through the air, comes down upon thee, and you have 11 slashing damage.
Okay, and because I am a heavy armor master, that goes down by 3.
Yep.
So that is only 8.
Nice. All right. Rue, you've got 2 Minotaurs charging up the tunnel behind you. The first one, because he is up, he's the only one that's going to be able to try and get a gore on you. The second one's behind him. How does a 13 look for your hit roll? You're muted, by the way. I think that was a miss. Still okay. Yeah, you're having some audio issues there, buddy. Okay. The one behind it is kind of unable to get to you, just simply because there's a giant Minotaur in front of it. So let's go next in line to Calavera, our Fire Genasi, Cleric of the Grave.
Oh, one attack to Gears, one is attacking Rue. Okay.
We have the two that are essentially Gears is in front of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is behind the first one, so it can't really reach, and so they're bottled up. But there's two coming behind us. So if you want to divide your attention to the other side, might be good.
Okay, so and how big is this like how far away are they from where Calavera is right
Yeah,
now?
so the party is 20 feet back. The intersection is now full of Minotaur and Gears, kind of on the left side of the intersection, because again, one went prone, the other stepped through him to try and gore Gears, putting him in the kind of the center of the intersection. The other one stood up. Rue's two Minotaurs, one is face to face with Rue, the other one's behind that one up the other tunnel. So you're 20 feet from this action, Calavera, straight in front of you.
If you move up 5, that rod will come to good use.
Yeah, I
Just
think
saying.
that has a 15-foot reach.
It does.
I got some other things I can do though. So, all right, Calavera's gonna move up so that she is. There's another one that's running up behind us as well. That's on its way over.
They're behind Rue. They're coming. They're two coming from one tunnel.
Right.
The other two are coming from the other tunnel. Nothing's coming from your tunnel, except you.
We're being pincered.
Uh, who wants to? You know what? No, Gears is kind of busy, just kind of goring through things. Galaver is going to step closer to where Rue is, so that she can at least get that first Minotaur within 15 feet of her. She can get closer, so it's 10 feet away. She can do that. She'll do that,
Absolutely.
and then she's going to I think I'm gonna cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay. Rue, you've been granted advantage. Thank you, Antiquitus, very much for that. What does your Spirit Guardians look like as you cast this, Calavera, and what effect is going to...
They're so when she casts this, it's hard to make out any details about these things that just kind of start flickering into existence around her, but they look like flicks of you know when there's like a fire going, it's spitting like embers up into the air. It looks like that, just
That is sweet.
like surrounding her, for 15 feet out in every direction.
Nice.
Going to choose that the party is unaffected by this, and so any creature aside from the party that moves into the area that is in the area has half speed, so it's half speed in the area. And when they enter the area for the first time on a turn or start their turn there, they have to make a wisdom saving throw or take damage.
From
If they
Spirit
save the throw,
Guardians.
they take half damage.
Nice.
Spirit Guardian.
Sweet. I love the embers. Very much on point with your fire genasi-ness.
I
Yeah,
know.
very cool. Well done. Anything else you'd like to do? So you basically moved up about 15 feet or so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I think that's all she's got because that was an action.
That sounds good. Well done. Okay, time for our mighty SMR artificer, Ronvin. What would you like to do?
Well, how far am I away from the one that tried to gore Gears?
20 feet. This whole thing is unfolding 20 feet in front of you up the tunnel.
All right. And do I have to declare my advantage before, or can I do it after?
When you roll with advantage, you use your advantage, so you don't get to see what you did and then decide to use it.
Too
You would
bad.
have to declare.
Also, does it is the advantage per action or per attack?
It's a D20 roll. So when you roll a D20, you roll with advantage.
I am just so sad because I have 2 attacks per action. If you would have said for action, I could have
No,
rolled an
no,
advantage.
no, no. That's definitely not how that works.
Because I get to I'm gonna shoot at the one who just tried to gore Gears twice with my lightning launcher out
Nice.
of the fist. Right.
Will you be using your advantage for that?
Yes.
Very good.
Okay. That first 13. Does 13 hit?
It does not.
That's what I thought. All right, so let's do the second attack.
But it looks really
Nothing.
cool as your lightning jets down the corridor, arcing into one of the walls on this cascade of sparks that so bright because it's so dark
Yeah.
in here.
All right. Oh, well, the second one is better. That's a 22.
That's definitely going to connect.
All right. And that is going to do, oh, nice. 9 points of damage.
Excellent.
Lightning damage.
Yeah, so this thing just shoots right into the shoulder of the already injured Minotaur. This is the one that was prone, that originally tried to gore Gears, that he had hammered pretty good with the Great Club. Still up, but looking pretty nasty. Gears, you can smell burning fur, burning flesh as this thing absolutely sizzles and pops and kind of just roars, a loud bellow filling all the cavern, echoing down in all directions. Anything else, Ronvin?
Nope.
Okay, that brings us to Algernon Altano. And he's going to cast his favorite new spell. Just kidding. Uh, Rue and Gears are like, no fireball. I mean, I think that would be a great spell to use right here. I think what he's going to go ahead and do is his typical Ray of Frost. He's going to try and put some damage on this Minotaur that has been hit. That what you say, Ronvin just electrocuted. So you see him put his hands up in that characteristic, kind of lower his head a little bit, and he's going to roll a d20 and see if he finds purchase. He does not. So his Ray of Frost, Gears, you feel a little bit of frost wash over your gear as this thing goes right in between you and the Minotaur, and to no effect. And that brings us to Rue Shahar, Rogue Extraordinaire.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Sort of. Do your best.
Okay. So I'm not sure the exact positioning, but can I flank the one that just got back up without leaving the space of the one in front of me?
Yep.
The one that attacked me? Okay.
Yeah, everything is basically compressing in upon you, so you can easily melee with Gears, the ones in front of him, without causing an attack of opportunity behind you. Is that what you meant to do?
Yes, and I would like to stab at him. That is an 13 to hit.
Sorry, my friend, that does not quite get the job done.
All right. We'll make my offhand attack. I certainly hope that hits. That's a 22 to hit.
That definitely
21
hits, yeah. So you score a hit with your other short sword offhand. Yeah, he was just able to get that haft of that great axe up. You know, he's kind of reeling from getting hammered by that lightning and the great club, but he manages to get the great axe up. But you're too quick with the second attack. Let's have some damage. Why don't you go ahead and throw some sneak attack action in there.
20 points of damage.
20 points of damage. So describe for me what it looks like as you dispatch this Minotaur who's taken quite a beating at the hands of your party mates.
As he's standing up again and staggering from the hit from the lightning launcher, Rue ducks under a swing from the Minotaur ahead of him, and then around Gears, and just drives a scimitar up into this creature's side.
Yeah, nice. And just spreads the ribs. You hear a couple of ribs crack, and it just groans as this blood pours forth, quickly matting all the fur, and it just drops off your sword and falls beside the one that's standing there. Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. That's going to bring us to Um, the next item up for bids. Rue and Gears, you see some more motion down the hall, particularly Rue. Down the tunnel where the two Minotaurs came out and addressed Gears. Some not quite as large, but pretty large hulking figure coming up the tunnel. Doesn't look like it's going to get quite to you. It's hard to really describe, but it's big. It almost looks like a huge bipedal beetle. It's got these huge, like, hooked arms and a beak. It's kind of purplish. Almost looks like it has a exoskeleton or a shell with spikes and things in it. But it's on two legs, heavily clawed feet, and it's coming up the tunnel behind the Minotaurs that Gears was engaged with.
Sounds like quite the horror with all those hooks.
Does, oddly enough. Fragili Jonkowski, sorry. You, my friend, are next in combat.
You're muted, Mike.
Hate being responsible and not talking over my friends. All right. So I need to kind of get the scene set in my head.
Yes, so you're about
walking.
25 feet away, Mike, or Fragili, and in front of you, you've got a dead Minotaur, another Minotaur in front of Gears. Rue is right there beside Gears. There are two Minotaur behind Rue. Calavera is 15 feet ahead of you. Ronvin is still kind of back where you are with Al. And you're 25 feet away.
That didn't help me. I got a specific question I need to ask. Are they coming from three different directions? Are we at a T or are we at like a Y? Or I don't understand.
It's a tunnel crossing at an angle is all it is. And they're coming from both sides.
Okay, and so it is a tunnel that goes both ways.
Yeah, it's a crossing.
So a left and a right. And so there's two to the left, and then there's one dead that came out of the right side. And
no, there's one dead that came out of the left. There's two to the right. Yeah.
So Gears. Dead Minotaur. All right. I'm going to get up as close as I can and quickly scan up both aisles or both tunnels.
Yep.
And I see two Minotaurs. How far up the tunnel are they?
So you get up there, which would put you in melee with the Minotaur that's left on Gears or the two Minotaurs that came up the right side tunnel. You can look.
I'm not going for melee here.
Well, then you got to tell me how far up you're going because they're in the intersection, 25 feet from you. If you go up in the intersection, you're in melee.
So we're at a kind of an X, Mike, and it's me, Gears, Rue, and three Minotaurs in that intersection, and there's a fifth combatant coming down the left tunnel, I believe.
Yep.
So,
and you guys are in the intersection.
Yep.
We're in the intersection. It's quite crowded.
It's about a 15-foot diameter intersection.
So, that being the case, I will go and attempt to get Gears back. So, it just affected. If I could have seen them down the tunnel, I would have been doing something totally different. So, we're going to pull out Spirit Shroud, which is not going to be as much fun, but that's okay. So I'm going to bonus action cast Spirit Shroud on myself, and then I'm going to use my Green Flame Blade and attack the first Minotaur in the intersection directly in front of, not the one Gears is in, to the right.
Okay. Yeah, the two that are kind of behind Rue. Very good. So what does Spirit Shroud do for you, Fragili? And what does it kind of look like as you cast this?
Spirit Shroud is the one where my oh my gosh, my brain is not working tonight. My ethereal ravens come out and they swarm around me. Um, they're invulnerable. They're intangible. They add damage to what I'm doing by pecking and clawing
Yep.
and nipping at whatever my enemy is.
Nice. Nice. So I'm picturing almost like phasing in and out, fluttering around you.
Yeah,
Very,
absolutely.
very graceful yet fierce, purplely black.
So green flame
Nice.
blade. So I make my regular attack.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna just blow my advantage right now and use it. Just make sure I get a hit in. That's
Actually, yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
so that is a 21 versus AC.
That's a hit for sure.
And so we are going to take 5 plus 5 is so they're going to take 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Sorry, piercing damage.
Stabby stab.
5 points of fire damage
Nice.
and 5 points of
Radiant.
radiant damage.
Yep.
And then the one directly behind it is going to take 13 points of fire damage.
Oof, man, green flame blade is so nice. Well done.
That's my turn.
Perfect. So you all see Fragile just zoom up here in a flash of ravens and purple energy kind of crackling and fluttering around her. And she makes a swipe with, is it a scimitar or a longsword you like to
No,
use?
I use a rapier.
Rapier, okay. And just runs it like almost through the shoulder of this minotaur. And you see fire and radiant light, which is for Fragile is purple, right? Am I
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you hear and smell the singe and of fur catching fire as the minotaur also behind it is damaged and groans and bellows in rage. And we are back to the top of the order, which brings us to gears. You have a minotaur in front of you in melee and something large coming down the hall that looks like a cross between an owlbear and a beetle. And it's banging its hooky appendages against the cavern, seemingly in rage.
Excellent. Which beetle? Ringo?
Right. Yeah, nice. One more
All right.
dad joke and I'm going to mute you. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
not even a father.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming, brother.
All right. Wielding the club again. And that is an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And we'll just do some regular attacks for the moment since there seems to be more and more combatants piling on. And 14 plus 5 is 19 damage on the first hit. Second attack is 19 plus 8 is 27 to hit. And the damage is 11 plus 5 is 16. Nobody
Okay.
hired me for my math.
Do I need to make the strength save?
No, I'm not using the Battlemaster
Very
maneuvers.
well.
I'm reserving those for the oncoming mountain of chitness flesh.
Yes. Very nice. Anything else, Gears?
No, that's it for now. I'm just doing some mental math as to what I need to preserve or
Gotcha.
use in this encounter. Thanks.
Okay,
That's it.
so this thing is going to return the favor and take a swipe at you with his great axe. And again, it seems it's almost like he's enraged or something, but he's going to gain advantage on his melee attack. And I'm going to hope that a 22 does some hitting.
Oh, did it last time.
All right, cool. How about that rolled off the thing again? How about 10 plus 4 is 14 slashing damage?
14 slashing, less 3 for heavy armor master is 11.
Okay. For Geely, this thing is going to raise two-handed and bring its great axe down upon you, Also
Okay.
enraged and rolling with advantage now that you've put a hole in it. You're
Disapprove of this message.
very good. You are free to do so. How does a 25 sound as far as an attack roll?
Yeah, that's almost Osmodius right there.
Nice. That is 19 plus 4 is 23 slashing damage as this thing brings a great axe down
Yep.
really hard.
All right. Well, first of all, flipping it off,
Okay.
and then
That's a free action.
yeah, I'm going to use my reaction, and I am going to hellish rebuke it.
Always like me some hellish rebuke. That's a great thing you're doing there.
I need you to make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw, please. Or
I have
preferably
a 12 on the die with no bonus. I didn't catch the DC. It kind of cut out right there.
15.
15 did not make it.
Oh, some nice rolls. 3 9s.
Ooh. Are you
27,
serious?
30. Yeah. 33 points of fire damage.
That is a hellish
Ow! That
rebuke.
is indeed a hellish rebuke. So more fur sizzles the hair. It's got this beautiful mane of black hair, and it just mats down to its neck, and it bellows as you grill this guy. Still up though. That is nasty. What does hellish rebuke look like when that happens? When you use your reaction for that?
Um, well, it says you point a finger, but I mean it's right there next to me, and my hands are full, and I can only cast it because of my warcaster.
Right.
So basically, I hold my shield up, and I feel like it comes out of my shield arm because my shield arm has my bracelet on it,
I think
and
that's
I
pretty
just
cool.
open up my hand, pull the shield to the side, and it shoots out of my hand directly into its chest.
Nice. That is awesome. Hellish rebuke. I'm gonna have to remember that. Okay. That is the turn of the Minotaurs. The other one is behind and can't quite get going into the intersection at the moment. Yeah. Gears is tenderizing and Fragile is grilling. Very nice. I like that. We are back to Calavera. What would you like to do?
I just want to check. Were any of the minotaurs within 15 feet of me that turn?
Um, you moved 15 feet up. You were 20. Yeah, I would say so. So we're gonna get some spiritual guardian damage, aren't we?
Yeah, that should happen at the start of their turn.
Okay. Could you remind me? I've got kind of some stuff going on.
Yeah, I
So I'm
just
gonna.
wasn't sure where everyone was.
Yep.
The ones that would be within 15 feet of Calavera need to make a wisdom saving throw,
Okay.
DC 14.
That is a 12 no. That is a 10 no. And that is a nat 20 for 23. So two saved, or two did not, one did save.
All right, so that is a 11 radiant damage on the ones that failed. And do we round up or down on damage? I forgot.
Down.
Then 5 for the one that saved.
Okay. 11 and 5. 64. Okay. Nice. Yeah, just help me remember that. You're basically, 10 feet from the action.
Okay.
Just outside of melee, basically, because you moved up about 15 feet. You were 20 feet away.
Yeah.
So, okay. Very good. Let's go on to, now it's your turn, actually. So
Yeah.
do what it is you do.
And they're all right there. Are they? Okay. You said I'm maybe 10 feet from the action, right?
Sorry, you cut out right there. What was that?
You said I'm maybe 10 feet from the action or so?
Give or take, yeah, you're within 10 feet, but you're not in close enough to get jabbed with anything. Like, you didn't want to be in melee, but you wanted to be close enough to do stuff, so.
If I were to make a 15-foot cone, would my allies be in there?
Oh, most certainly would have Gears, Rue, and Fragile right up in there.
Oh, no, not doing that. Never mind.
Oh, come on. It's fun when you friendly fire your teammates.
I don't know about that. They might be a little upset with me.
Yeah, especially because I didn't do it to you.
Thank you. Okay, touch spell. Oh no. Touch spells. This is why I have plans for my future feats. Okay, there's no, that's too far away. I think what I'm going to do is, and no one's seriously hurt yet, right?
For Julie,
Gears is down a third of their
You're
hit
down.
points.
You're down. For Julie, how hurt are you?
I'm down to 18 out of 41.
Oh no, you should probably get a little heal on there.
Yeah, we had a great X situation just a moment ago.
Oh, no, wait, your maxes are.
Julie got asked a question.
No, I should probably heal ya. Yeah, Calavera's gonna move up to be move up so that she's behind Fragile, and then she just kind of like just reaches over and touched her just long enough so she can cast a second level Cure Wounds.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
That is going to be, yeah, these are d8s. Oh, that's not bad. 15 healing.
Nice.
And that's what I got.
Nice. Okay. Very good. Ronvin is going to see the second Minotaur in melee with gears, and she's going to fire her cool lightning thing. And because that attacked recklessly, it grants advantage on all melee attacks until the end of its next turn. So she's going to fire her lightning launcher, and we get 2 attacks per round, so that's exciting. So let's see what we got here. That's definitely definitely a hit. Oh, shoot, that's right. You only get advantage on melee attacks, I believe. Thank you, Rue. No, just attack rolls, so she has advantage. Either way, she hit with both die. So that is 8 lightning, and she's going to zap it again. That's another hit. That is 8 more, so 16 lightning. This thing's looking a little crispy here in front of you, Gears. It's starting to smoke. The skin is sizzling and popping. The fur is all but gone on the upper half of its body as it's been just hammered with 2 lightning strikes from Ronvin. Al, who's also dying to get in on the damage dealing, is going to attempt to Ray of Frost it. And that's a hit. So he steps up, drops a Ray of Frost for 8, and freezes it. The thing just looks at you, Gears, its mouth open, and drops. And one of its ears breaks off.
Nice.
Because it was frozen. And Al's like, and we are now to Rue's turn. So, Rue, you can see one of these beetle owlbears coming up the hall from in front of Gears, and you can hear one coming up the hall behind you, behind the 2 minotaurs that are behind you. What would you like to do?
So there's... Sorry, I'm having trouble keeping track of it all. There's still one on...
There's 2 minotaurs kind of behind you from that tunnel, and then there's a hook horror coming up almost in melee, about 10 feet from Gears.
2 that are behind me are untouched.
No, there's some damage on both of those minotaurs from Fragile. In fact, one of them's really hammered.
Okay.
Fragile's been back there.
Then I'm going to go and try to finish that one off. I thought that was the one that just got frosted.
No, that one was the one that Gears was on.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and burn one of my advantages.
Okay, you don't have to, because you have advantage on its attack because it was also trying to recklessly attack Fragile, so you can save your advantage.
And can I get flanking on it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Fragile's right there.
Okay, that's a 17 to hit then.
Okay, that will hit.
Okay.
And you've got sneaky dice because you have advantage, but you also have an ally within 5 feet. So
A great damage roll. That is 17 points of damage.
yeah, describe for me how you dispatch this Minotaur that's closest to Fragile.
Yeah, so I think it's All of Rue's movements are very fluid and just kind of duck dodging and weaving as he's in and out between combatants and just finding sneaky little ways to come up and get inside of their um, reach.
Nice. Down it goes. There's one behind it, and then there's another thing coming up the tunnel that looks like another hook horror. So
All right,
there's a
yeah,
Minotaur and a hook horror in the right tunnel that you're facing, Rue, with Fragili. And there's a hook horror coming up the other tunnel toward Gears.
all right. I'm gonna move on and try to get the other Minotaur that's right here.
Yep.
With my
That one
offhand.
has got some fire damage. It's been singed by the green flame blade of Fragili.
Yeah, it just got stabbed some more. That's a 21.
That is definitely a hit.
But it's my offhand, so it's kind of an afterthought. As I complete the motion on the one, I spin back around with
Nice.
my my offhand blade reversed in my other hand, and just catch this one in the side. It's only 2 points of damage.
But it looked really cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Gears. You have a owl bear beetle thing coming at you, buddy. And it's going to try to take some swipes with these huge hooks that have like hooks on the end, because hence, well, hooks. It's very hooky. It's going to play some hooky on you. So first swing. How does a 23 look? Is that pretty cool?
It's better than the last one, so yes, it hits.
Excellent. I just like to hear you say it. 13 hooking damage, which would be,
10.
I believe, piercing.
Yeah, that gets bumped down
And
to 10.
how about an 18?
Just hits.
Yeah. Excuse me. How about 12 damage piercing?
12 goes down to 9.
9, right?
That's lovely.
Everything is fine.
It's fine. Gears is looking rough.
Okay. The other thing is it's trying to get at Rue. It has 10-foot reach, but I just feel like with a large Minotaur in front of it, by comparison, you're much smaller, Rue. I just feel like that would be a surgical strike. And with a 10 dex, even though it does have 10-foot reach, I just don't see, these hooks are rather unwieldy. I just don't see it happening. So we're going to move on to Ms. Fragili Giancassi. I just like saying your last name. I don't know why.
I love my last name.
I do too. It's lovely.
So is Rue killed the one that I did all the damage to,
Yes.
and then he hit the one that was behind it.
Yes.
So is he now in between me and that other?
No. You are side by side. Rue is kind of to your left, and you're coming straight at the side of the Minotaur. Rue is face to face with it. So you're about 45 degrees, 15 minutes if you're looking at a clock face.
So
If that makes sense.
Do I still have 5 feet of space between me and it?
Yeah, I'd say so, because Rue stepped toward it. It did not advance toward Rue.
Okay. I think what I would like to do takes a full action. Yeah, I feel like the best defense is going to have to be an offense. So I'm going to go right after this next Minotaur. I am going to use my bonus action to put my hex on it.
Okay.
And
It is hexed.
die. That's a 21 versus AC.
That's a hit.
And so we've got, oh, very nice. We've got 13 points of piercing damage. We've got 1 point of fire damage. We've got 3 points of radiant damage.
What was the fire, Mike? I'm sorry.
1.
Very good. And then 3. Very good.
And then I got to figure out how to work. It says against your cursed target, you gain +3 bonus to damage rolls.
Okay.
So, is that going to be? Do I decide what type of damage that is? That
You can
+3?
choose what type it is, but I don't think it's going to go +3, +3, +3 to each of the types.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
I just say I think
But you can
it's
make
better.
it any of the three if you'd like.
Let's go with radiant. Let's throw some purple on him. And then the one behind,
How much was the radiant total? I didn't get that number.
it was 3 + 3, so 6 altogether.
Very well. And then the hook horror behind it.
It is going to take 8 points of fire damage.
Owie. Okay. Yeah. And it's like clacking its hooks against a cavern. You know, it can't get at you guys, but it's just back there beating on its exoskeleton and dragging its hooks up and down, flailing away. I mean, it's obviously very distraught and anxious. Anything else for Geely?
No, sadly, my healing is a bonus, is a full action. So
Understood. Gears, we are at the top of the initiative order, and you are free to take your turn.
So there's still 2 Minotaurs.
Behind you, just one Minotaur left. There are 2 hook horrors, one in front of you unharmed, and one coming up the other tunnel behind the other Minotaur. You're down to 3 hostiles.
I have a few questions right now because this is the highest I've gotten in 5e as a fighter. If I want to use the second wind, which allows me to regain a d10 +5 hit points,
Yep.
that's a bonus action. That's clear. Action Surge does not say what part of the action economy it takes to activate, so I'm assuming it's just once per short rest.
One additional action. So you could use it as part of a double move. You could use it to cast a spell. You could use it to attack. And with the attack action, you have Dos Attackos.
So I could actually have 4 attacks in one round.
Yeah.
Okay. And
well, you would have 2 attacks for your first attack action, and then 2 attacks for your second attack action if you action surge. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be what's going to play. So,
all right, so let's start, man.
Second wind will be the first. So, as their bonus action, and I've described this before, but I'll do it again. Gears has a dial on their chest. They just quickly put the hand up, crank, crank, crank. Everything just seems to tighten up, pull together, and then time almost slows down around them. I will just get my hit points before I start anything else.
Sure, yeah, do your thing.
You really hit me hard there.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a 10 + 5 is 15.
Oh, way to max out, brother. Good job.
15 healing. Thank you. Up to half hit points again. And then goes into a blur of motions. So, as a first action, as Rue was being quite elegant with his attacks, Gears is more economical, and we'll just take the tip of the great club and rotate and ram it right into the Minotaur behind them.
Okay.
So that will be the first attack. That is 19 + 8 is 27 to hit.
Barely hits.
Barely hits. Nice.
Yeah.
And I will pour another Battlemaster maneuver trip in there, so that'll be 3d8 damage. Let me just roll the damage before we get into the saving throw for that. That is 13 plus 7 is 20 plus 5 is 25 damage. And I need a DC 16 strength saving throw from that Minotaur.
12 plus 4 is exactly 16.
Okay, so
he keeps his feet. And you said that was 25 damage, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
And then we'll swing back at the beetle thing.
Yep.
And that is 16 plus 8 is 24 to hit.
Yep.
And why not? I'll use my last superiority die on this one. So that is 9, 11 plus 5 is 17 damage, and then another strength saving throw DC 16.
Okay, 11 and 5 is 16. Just a minor correction there.
Yep, sorry.
Strength save. That's a natty 1, so this guy goes prone.
Good. Does that give me advantage? They're prone to
If
melee
you
attacks?
continue to attack it, you do have advantage attacking a prone creature.
All right.
And it has disadvantage until it becomes unprone. Or the creature formerly known as prone.
Yes. Well, the creature that is currently known as prone will be attacked for the last 2 attacks. That's a natural 20.
Oh boy.
And so that is 16 plus.
I smell some damage.
9. 16, 9. 25 plus 5 is 30 damage.
Oof.
And the last attack.
You just hear the chitinous exoskeleton starting to give in places, snap off one of the spikes.
Awesome. 23 hits, I assume.
It does.
And that's 11, 16 damage.
16 damage. Okay, yeah, it's looking rough, man. You got a couple of big cracks in its exoskeleton. It's looking rough. This blackish green ichor is seeping from wounds that you've caved in here and there.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else?
Just making sure I've got all my boxes checked here, and unfortunately they are, which means I've run out of all the special stuff. But yeah, that's going to be one of those good enough rounds.
Okay. The closest thing to the Minotaur, the remaining Minotaur, is Rue. So it's going to, again, recklessly attack.
Before you do that, Wiley,
Yes.
you've had such a terrible time with dice rolling. I'm going to give you advantage on this attack.
On this roll.
Yes.
You can save that. Can I bank that? Because I already have advantage because of my reckless attack.
Actually, before you do that, are you moving within 15 feet of me?
Well, he'd have to move Rue, but you already damaged him with that. So yeah, he's already there. So whiz save?
Whiz save.
At the start of my turn, right?
Yep.
That is a 5 on the die. Plus 3 is 8. I'm guessing that's well below the necessary DC. So hit me with some, what is it, necrotic?
No, this is, did I really roll that wrong? Oh, I did. No, that's going to be 19 radiant damage.
19
Nice.
radiant damage. Well, Minotaurs, little known fact, are actually immune to radiant damage.
Wow, I didn't know that. It's because of the shining personality.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. No, okay, so ouch. Yeah, this dude is just, the crackles of the sparks and the fire just swirl around it. And yeah, man, this thing's looking rough. So, you want me to just bank that one, Rue? Because I already
You could just not attack recklessly and still have advantage.
Okay, I'll do that. That's fine. So it's going to take a wild swing with his ginormous axe at Rue. That is a 19 on the die. 25.
That hits.
2d12. Little mercy.
Ow.
Finally hit.
Feel,
so much.
feel bad for the DM, eh? 10, 14.
Oh, you got a easy.
And that's piercing damage from this Minotaur as he bellows. Barely on his feet.
Uncanny dodge to take half of that.
Yeah, set me up and tease me. Freaking rogues. Nice. Okay. Miss Calavera, it is your turn.
The one that's right next to her looks pretty hurt, huh?
Oh, that Minotaur is on his last. He's looking rough.
I think I'm gonna help him the rest of the way and cast Toll of the Dead.
Nice. Whiz save?
Whiz save, DC 14.
Oh, that's an 8.
That's not very good.
It's
so that is
not good enough. You're correct.
2d12 necrotic damage. That is 16 necrotic damage.
Yeah, so it just stops and looks around like, where's this coming from? Is this horrible gong? And it's really weird because minotaurs do not get confused or disoriented, because they have labyrinth recall. They're very aware underground, and this guy is not. And his eyes kind of roll back in his head, and he drops his great axe and just kind of falls as ichor runs out its ears and his nose and his mouth, and he falls to his death onto the cold stone. Everybody's getting kills here, and it's dead. Good job.
Thank you. And then Gears is still looking rough too, right?
Yours is looking a little better. They're at half hit points, roughly.
Would you like to be a little better?
I'll never say no to healing.
So since that was a cantrip as a spell as an action, I think I can do a bonus action spell then,
Yes.
right?
Yes, you may.
I'll just use a little first level spell slot to do a quick little healing word.
Yeah, you can only cast 2 spells if one's a cantrip and they're on like bonus action, reaction.
Take a quick little 5
If I
healing.
understand that correctly. Okay.
I won't say no. Thank you.
Nice. Okay. Ronvin is going to fire at this hook horror that is in melee with Gears with a lightning launcher thing. That is a 12, which is a miss. She'll fire her second, and that's a bigger miss. Pew pew! Nothing. Al will go ahead and Ray of Frost. He's just itching to fireball, but alas.
We foresaw that.
But his Ray of Frost smokes this hook horror, the one that's Gears is on. And so 2d8 is 8, and it goes down. Al has killed a minotaur and a hook horror.
Nice.
Who knew?
Fun fact, Gears hasn't killed anything.
That's so funny.
Really?
Yeah, but y'all have done a lot of damage. Okay, that'll be it for Al. Rue Shahar, you have a hook horror about 10 feet or so from you. Between you and the hook horror is the flopped over and deceased body of the minotaur that Calavera just ended.
All right, I will try to deftly leap over that carcass and get to the last remaining enemy.
Yeah, with your dex, you could probably do a one-handed round off.
All right, and I will try to flank it.
That's one thing, you have no one with you to flank. Because doesn't flanking require an ally?
Oh,
Because Fragile is probably 15 feet from this thing. Because remember, it was behind the Minotaur, down the tunnel a little bit.
So then, in that case, before my attack, I will use my feature called Insightful Fighting as a bonus action to make an insight check against the creature.
Looking for an opening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In which case, I can get if he fails the deception check against my insight roll, then I can still get sneak attack. That's how that works.
I see. Is this a wisdom, deception, or intelligence? It's probably intelligence, isn't it? Deception is charisma. Yes, I should have known that. Silly dungeon master. So I got to roll charisma versus your thing. Oh, for the love of God. Yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you want.
That sounded like a failed save.
I rolled a 3, and he has a -2 charisma. So
Hey,
who knew
what?
that hook horrors weren't incredibly charming?
Okay. So, oh, wow. That's 27 to hit.
So how many different ways can Rue get advantage and thus use sneak attack? That is outstanding. That is a hit, 27 as a matter of fact.
I didn't have advantage, but... okay, so... sorry. You got me flipping back and forth between things here. Plus 5. That is 21 points of damage.
21?
Yep. And then I don't get an offhand attack because I had to use my insightful fighting.
But success on that granted you sneak attack damage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Insightful fighting. Is that from Tasha?
I get it from being an insightful rogue or an inquisitive rogue.
Oh, okay.
A subclass.
Sorry. It's going to swing at you with its hooks because it is its turn, unless you had something else you wish to do.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. That is a 19.
That hits.
All right. So one of these big hooks just comes down and rakes across your armor and does 10 damage, piercing. Ooh, another one, 23 for another 11. So 21 total piercing is you get hooked twice.
I will have the first one.
Cunning
So
action.
that makes it 16 total.
No, that's uncanny dodge. Cunning action is the dex save one, right?
No, cunning action is something else.
Oh, yeah. What am I thinking? Anyway, sorry. Getting tired. All right, we are down to Fragile. There's one combatant left.
All right, Fragile is going to rush in this time. She's not going to actually cast Green Flame Blade. She is going to just double attack with a rapier.
Boom, boom. Nice.
All right. It's a 15 and a 16.
Those both hit, if those are your attack rolls.
Yes.
Yep. Great.
All right. So the first one does 13 points of piercing and 7 points of radiant damage. And the second one does another 13 points of piercing and 3 radiant damage.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, so you start cracking its chitinous exoskeleton. Gears, you're up. Basically what you have now is kind of behind you. You can hear combat joined as your hook horror has fallen. Rue and Fragile are sort of shoulder to shoulder, a little bit down that tunnel, just going at, hey, thanks for the advantage, Sorrow's Tale, my old friend. Very nice. Appreciate that. That gives me a total of 3 advantages. Woo! So you can't really get in there, Gears. You've got 2 allies between you and the hook horror. And they're just, 5 feet down that tunnel.
Okay. If I had my glaive out, which has a 10-foot reach, would I be able to fight over their heads?
Okay. Yeah, these things are large, and the ceiling in this cavern is probably 20, 25 feet high. This thing's probably 12, 13 foot tall, so I could easily see you, especially at your stature, with a 10-foot long glaive, easily getting a pokey poke.
All right.
But I'll say this: you don't have sorcery points left or superiority die left, but you wouldn't be able to trip him with that.
No,
like that would be fair, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
All right, man.
That would be awkward at best. All right. So Gears will simply drop the great club on the ground and whip out the glaive in a flourish to attack over the heads of Rue and Fragile. That's a 19 hit.
That'll hit.
That'll hit. That's what I like to hear. And that's 13 damage.
Okay.
And second attack is 24.
Yeah.
And 14 damage.
Okay, yeah, this thing's looking rough. This hook horror, this remaining hook horror, is looking bad, man. Some of its plating has fallen off. One of the hooks is in pretty rough shape. You've really hammered this guy.
Excellent. That ends my turn.
Okay, it would be the Minotaur's turn, except for the fact that they're deceased. So Calavera, you are up, young lady.
Yeah, let's finish off the hook horror with another Duel of the Dead. Could you
Wisdom.
give me a wisdom save?
Man, my saving throws have not been awesome. That is a 10.
No, it's not it. That's not it. That's 14 necrotic damage.
Okay, what does it look like when you end the threat of this hook horror through Gears, Rue, and Fragile?
So, Galvera's turned to watch the rest of this fight going on in the distance, and like looking past like uh everyone else who's like going in to do this fight. I think that she ends up just for a second locking eyes with this thing, and she just like uh uh just slowly exhales. And before, I know that I've described this kind of like when there's a sound wave or something that goes out and like the dust scatters. Instead of that happening, like all of the flickers that have been like floating around her just kind of it's like something like disturbs them. They just kind of flow out and then back in to fill in the void as this loud bell rings in this thing's ears and no one else can hear. I think it just drops.
Yeah, it sure does. With a clatter, it drops, and it is silent in this intersection of death as you have dispatched 4 Minotaurs with great axes and 2 large hulking hook horrors. And at this point, we're going to take just a quick 5 minute break. So, viewers, hang loose, stretch out, get a beverage, and we're going to be back in a very Sorrow's Tales. Like, dude, I just got here. We will not be gone long, my friend. Just a quick 5 minutes to stretch and reset some cameras, and we'll see you most certainly in just a moment. All right, we are back from break. Paige had to take off, so we're down to 3 now. We were hoping to have Manny on his way home from work. Not sure. I'm guessing he got hung up or something, so hopefully everything's okay. Manny is the person who plays Algernon. And so the party finds themselves in this intersection between two tunnels, working their way back to Deep Delver's Enclave. It's not even lunch. They were only about 90 minutes into their travels for the day, and they were ambushed by 4 minotaurs and these 2 hook horrors, apparently hunting, I guess. Who knows? But we'll pick it up right there. We've got a bunch of dead minotaurs and hook horrors. What would you like to do?
Well, speaking for Al, was there anything that Al would want to collect for arcane studies?
Man, I don't think on minotaurs or hook horrors. Would there be? They're monstrosities, both. I don't really think so.
All right. I think that Fragile will probably grab and cut off a little singed patch of fur from the first Minotaur and put it in her box that she carries with mementos in it.
Yes.
And then Paige, when we were gone, Calavera healed the rest of the crew up, so I don't really need to use my healing on anyone, I don't think. Are you healed all the way, Gears?
No.
So seeing the Gears is still a little bit on the damage side, I will walk over and I'll place my hand on his shoulder, and I will channel 5 points of the Raven Queen's power into him to heal him.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, let's hope there's no more of those.
It has grown silent. No clicking.
Because they're not undead.
And they're not undead.
Virgilia's kind of looking at her side where this Minotaur sliced through her leather just below her breastplate. It's kind of disappointed because she was pretty fond of this outfit. She's going to have to get some repair work done on it now. Unless she knows somebody who can fix it in the group.
Ronvin would step up, I'm pretty sure. Yes. I can take care of that for you if you wish to have that repaired very quickly. I could mend it.
Can we mend it with me standing, or should we just wait till we get back? Because I don't want to have to take my whole breastplate off and then pull the leather off and.
No. If I can touch where it is damaged, I can mend it right here where we stand.
Yeah. Mending cantrip. Gotta love it.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yes, if you just show me, I'd be happy to.
She's going to show down on her left side, just underneath where the breastplate ended. There's a big gash. There's barely even a scar underneath between my own healing and Calavera's healing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it mended up almost perfect, but it did not mend the gash.
Yeah, she has a look, kind of moves your breastplate up. Oh, dear. Oh, this is definitely very torn. Would you like me to put some gems in it? I could mend around the gems, and then you'd have some shinies just under your breastplate. How would that be?
That would be fabulous.
Okay.
But I would always be able to remember you.
Very well. Yeah, so she'll just take a couple of lesser valued gems, and she'll kind of fit them into the tear, and she'll separate them by about a couple of inches so that they mend around the gem and mend in between the gems. And she closes her eyes and kind of rubs her fingers along, and you see the leather just knit back together, and the gems are now in the leather. They've knit around the gems.
So Virgili's going to like wrap her arms around Ronvin in a huge bear hug and just tell her, "I love it, I love it." And then she's going to do a little cast of her own. And there was some of her own blood that had kind of dried in that area, and it's going to just she's going to prestidigitate it and make it just flake off.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's pretty thrilled.
And what she mended in there are two very small amethysts, purple. One is darker than the other. As you kind of look at it and move it around, any light source will catch and kind of glint off of that, giving a little purple beacon.
That could
Just a
be good or
little
bad.
purple light. I
We'll
mean, it's
take it.
kind of up where your breastplate is, so it's not like you have headlights on your side and anything can see you coming in all cases. And they're just little amethysts, maybe big around as a nickel. They're not giant. They're not going to give you away in the darkness by any stretch, especially if you're cloaked or you just cinch it up higher under your breastplate. But it's really cool looking. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put my shield back on my backpack and just I'm ready to head back up. I think I owe you a drink, Ronvin.
Oh, I'll take you up on that for sure, sweetie.
Um, in the meantime, Rue would have examined the bodies of these creatures to see. There have been, I think, a couple of creatures that we've seen that have had some like identifying marks or symbology. Is there anything like that on any of these?
Sure. Roll a investigation as they say, toss the bodies.
That is a 17.
17. Yes. Well, with a 17, you find that the four minotaurs each have belt pouches. They were kind of under their, they kind of have like loincloth sort of furs at their waists. And there were belt pouches under the loincloths. But no marks as such on any of these creatures. None of them carry anything that contains any standards. Now you need to obviously look in the pouches, but yes, nothing is apparent on their persons, on their garb. These are very much, monstrosity beasts of the Underdark, if you will.
Yeah, I will relieve them of their burdensome pouches and take a look at what's in them.
Nice. Okay, so in the pouches, I will kind of total up the coin and so forth. There's a total of 67 copper. I don't know who wants to write this down.
I got it.
41 silver, 78 gold, 3 platinum. There's a very nice ruby in one of the pouches, probably worth 50 gold. There's a dozen or so small 10 gold piece gems, random variety color. And there's a gold ring that appears to be a signet ring.
Is it anything we've seen at Deep Delver's Enclave, the symbol?
The symbol actually matches the symbology on the circlet, the gem on the circlet and the sending stones. It's kind of a starburst.
Oh,
Sunburst,
interesting.
and it's a signet ring that you might use for a wax seal.
Would Al ritual cast to detect magic or identify? I don't know.
He could ritual cast either. So if you give him 11 minutes, he can detect magic. And after the 11 minutes passes, there is nothing magical about the weapons, the ring, the gems, the coin, the pouches.
Yeah. Interesting though. These Minotaur great axes, are they something like Gears could wield?
They
Or
are.
oh, good.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, quality wise, they're very simple. They're not what you're accustomed to. They're not incredibly well balanced. The heads are, in some cases, kind of wedged, like they've split the handle to
Yeah.
widen it and keep the head on, above the head. You can see where they've driven like metal shims to keep the heads on. The blades are somewhat notched. You could tell they've had attempts made at being sharpened, but they're, on a scale of 1 to 10, these are probably four, threes and fours quality wise. They get the
Yeah.
job done, especially in the hands of a very strong, large animal or beast. But they're not what you would consider to be quality weapons.
Yeah. But they are 2d12.
They are painful. Yeah.
Yeah. Gears will take one of them.
Okay.
The better one, if
Yeah.
one can be discerned as
Yeah.
such.
Of the four, and they don't match or anything like that. They look at various ages. You feel like you could probably get a pretty keen edge on one of them, and that would be the one I assume you take. It's also tightly. There's no shims or anything in the head, above the head and the handle.
Yep.
Um,
Cool.
so looks like it was properly shrunk on there.
Good stuff.
Just to clarify, aren't they only one die 12 in our hands?
That's a good question. They're whatever a great axe would be. But these are minotaur-sized great axes. So it's not like a standard great axe would be the same damage. The difference being the strength mod. But because these things are so big, it's like the great clubs that the ogres had.
Yeah.
They're bigger great clubs than a great club you would purchase at the great club store.
That would be Sam's Club.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hi ho, hi ho.
So there you are. What would you like to do?
I just want to continue towards the out.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So you continue on and make your way through the dark. We'll just keep you in the same marching order, I presume.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay. You're able to make your way through the darkness. I would assume you probably stop for a stretch here and there, maybe a quick meal. Again, you do run across a few of these intersections, so it seems like maybe as you grow closer to Deep Delver's Enclave, you're in an area of Blackclaw Mountain that just probably more traveled because you're starting to see more intersections, roads, but you feel confident that if you stay on this path, on the one you're on, it's leading you kind of right back in the direction of Deep Delvers.
Well, could we retcon one thing?
Sure.
Taking the horns off each of the Minotaurs and bringing them with us.
Okay.
Excellent.
Uh, Rue would have also collected his crowbar back.
That's right. You threw a crowbar at them, not knowing you were throwing a crowbar at something, but just down the tunnel. Yeah. Yeah, you can go pick up your crowbar, no problem. Yeah. And I think what we should do then, with just the three of us, is stop right here. Um, and hopefully next time we play, we'll have a full complement. Ronvin Mara ended up getting a migraine in the middle of the game, and Calavera had to go. And we never did catch Al, so hopefully everything's all right with him, with Manny. So let's go ahead and hit pause right here. And we will say that you've reached the end of your second day out from Violet Falls. So you're about a half day by your reckoning, if all things are equal. Took you about 2.5 days to get out there. You're guessing you're probably going to get back to Deep Delvers Enclave, or at least Shadow Reach, the city beneath it, sometime today. Or tomorrow, I should say. So if you want, you can, again, choose a cavern somewhere off of this tunnel that you're on, and set up camp for a long rest. How's that
Sounds
sound?
good.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, Sorrow's Tale, no need to apologize other than we're sad that you didn't get to see more stuff. But next session, the party should arrive back at Deep Delvers Enclave, barring any other shenanigans. But they're only a half day or so away, so what could possibly go wrong in the dark depths of Black Claw Mountain? Should be no big deal. All right, well, let's skip around the horn here. We'll start with Rue Shahar. Where can we find you, bud?
Everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables, here on Twitch. You can find me Tuesday evenings and possibly Saturday mornings. That may possibly be changing. We'll see. But I've been streaming some piano practice on my Twitch channel. You can find my Twitter at Fellowship Routine TV.
Nice. Yeah, and if you haven't caught Andrew's stream, you've turned into a nice little piano player, buddy, and that is no simple task, man. Piano's not easy to play. He's playing some cool pop tunes, and it's just a fun stream of chill, hang out, listen to music, and you take requests, if I remember correctly.
I have. Lately, I've just been playing whatever song comes up next in my practice list.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, I think
Yeah.
next time I can get on there, I'm going to request the opening to Long Time by Boston by Keyboard. Has all those
Certainly
triplets.
ask.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, cool. And while I'm thinking of it, too, I put it in chat, but make sure you stick around. We're going to go raid Laugh, Love, Lindy, and man, is that a fun bunch of our peers. So let's see if we can take all of our viewers over there and raid them, and that'll get you more channel points, too. You get more points if you stick around and raid. So, all right, let's go to Gears.
Hey, folks. Hey, Wilson, Dave, preferably, but whatever works. I'm Hey Wilson on most of the social medias, and when I am on my Monday night run, we're here playing Mysteries in the Dalelands with Scott while I have it, and on Wednesdays also playing a stream game with same channel, same batty time, well, not quite the same time. We're playing at 7 p.m. Sorry, I'm getting a little off track here. We're playing Dragon of Icefire Peak, and we're looking forward to that this Wednesday. So be with us in a couple of days. We'll be back and rolling some more dice and playing some more roles. So look
Nice.
forward to seeing y'all here.
Cool. Last and certainly not least, the child of the Raven Queen herself, Fragile.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the child at the party, but
No.
I am Mike. I am Buckethead Clunk on my social media. I don't have very much of a footprint in social media, thumbprint, anything. This is really my first real dive into online gaming, and I'm absolutely loving it. I do run a homebrew campaign that is based out of Cormier, presently in the middle of spell jamming, but real life has gotten in the way. So we won't even be back to sailing across the cosmos again for another couple weeks. Just, life happens. Got to take care of the family.
Sure does.
Yep.
All right, and I'm Scott. I'm the proprietor of this here Twitch channel, the Wily Habit channel. So certainly love to see everybody throwing channel points into our giveaway pool, so we can give away a tabletop loot $25 gift certificate when we hit 15,000 channel points redeemed toward that. And also very nice of you to help the party and the DM with some advantages by redeeming those long bottom leaves. So who knew all that leaf was good for all kind of things. So, and as Dave mentioned, we do play D&D here on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. We're currently playing Dragon of Icespire Peak, and we're on our way to actually play the trilogy of adventures that follows that. The party is still working from Phandalin, and they've been beset by Cryovane, the White Dragon, but they know where he lives, and so things are going to get it real interesting real soon here on Wednesday nights. And then Sunday, Al, Manny, who plays Al, he dungeon masters our Sunday game in Greyhawk. So a lot of us are big fans of the original Gygaxian setting, the world of Greyhawk. And so Sundays at 1 p.m., come check us out with that. So thanks for hanging out, everybody in chat. We're going to go raid Laugh Love Lindy, just one of the sweetest, coolest people on all the internets. They're playing some D&D. They're in Matt Mercer's campaign setting of Wildmount. So let's go raid them and make sure you holler at them. And we will see you all super soon. Thanks for hanging out.
I